How big is your God?
Oh, huge, huge.
That's how you always operate.
Yeah.
You have always operated
But
that
it
way.
helps a lot,
It's
especially when you're talking to
wonderful.
your mother.
It's when you your mother is very lively.
Weave your light. 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 Weave your light.
Hi, guys. Welcome to How You Living, with the show that's all about health and wellness and for you to discover your better self. I'm Dr. Kiva,
Hey guys, I am Robin B, your favorite tea lady.
the tea lady.
Hi, Dr. Kiva.
Hey, how's it going?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
So it seems like it's been a while since I've seen you for
It
this.
is. It has.
Anything
And
new in your
I
world?
missed you.
Did tell.
Absolutely have missed you. It's just the usual, trying to heal the world. That's all. Well, aren't we both busy trying to heal the world in our own ways? Right?
Yes, because I've decided to do a shift where I'm going to look more at coaching and doing more wholeness and wellness and nutrition counseling.
I think that is perfect. And you know
Yeah.
what? That's ironic because I did a little shift. Instead of just being the tea lady selling, I'm doing a lot more consultation. So
Nice.
I've encountered quite a few clients that are dealing with health issues. So now
Nice.
we're spending time together, we understanding what their issues are, and then helping them find natural ways instead of them relying on chemicals. And that's going very comfortably. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that new world.
Because I think that by focusing on that one-on-one person
Yes.
and really just developing what they need,
Exactly.
I think that we're both doing it quite well. And then, of
Yeah.
course, I'll send them if they need some tea.
Look at that. Thank you very much.
And you
that's
send them if they need some nutraceuticals.
And I got you. And they're going to need some coaching. They're going to need some
yoga,
stretching,
some breathing.
yoga,
Exactly.
and get some adjustments. And matter of fact, I need to get there. I am so past due in getting adjusted.
I agree.
So today's topic is going to be about dealing with stress and anxiety. Okay. Of course, whether it's a holiday or not, life is just getting more and more stressful, it seems like.
Yeah, it gets to a point where, because I was reading this book recently, How Big Is Your God?
Ooh,
And I know it's pretty
nice,
good,
nice,
too.
Nice. How big is your God?
Oh, huge. It
And
was
you
this
know-
one thing that it did speak on. So, one, whenever you're feeling anxiety from a conversation, it's called PQR.
Okay, what does that
So
stand?
first you pause.
Okay,
So say I'm talking to you and I'm feeling a certain way and I'm having anxiety, I pause.
okay.
And then I kind of question what's going to be my response before I just respond. And then you respond.
That's how you always operate.
Yeah.
You have always operated
But
that
it
way.
helps a lot, especially when you're talking to
wonderful.
your mother.
It's when your mother is very lively.
But I
love
pause.
that. Mine too. You do have to. You do have
Right.
to, meet them where they are.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
good,
So
that's good.
so when you say anxiety, I think that a lot of times, of course, we bring it on ourselves.
We do.
Because of
and
that
we
mental
absolutely do.
dialogue.
Absolutely. And that is it. How you speak to yourself, how you communicate with yourself can really reflect on how you're feeling. And the thing is, we all know anxiety affects us physically. It's not just mental. Whatever we're thinking, it manifests in our health. That's why a lot of people are sickly, because they stay in a state of stress. So, I wanted to see how many different natural methods we could use, and we call them simple life hacks,
Yes.
on how to deal with stress and anxiety.
Okay, what do we have
So,
down the pipeline first?
What I'd like to cover, we've got physical, mental, and then herbal and dietary techniques.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with physical. One, you try to teach me this, is deep breathing.
Yes.
Okay, deep breathing, something I've been practicing lately, is to quiet my mind, is the 4-7-8 method.
What's
and
that?
I know you know what that is.
There's so many methods.
Okay.
Tell me about
And
4-7-8.
Well, this has been practiced by the military and special ops, where you breathe in through your nose at a count of 4. You hold it for 7 seconds. You hold it at a count of 7, which is basically 7 seconds. And then you breathe out through your mouth at a count of 8. And the studies show, Dr. Wheel is a big proponent of that.
Who is Dr. Wheel?
Dr. Wheel, I love Raven Wheel. He does a lot of natural healing.
Oh, is that the one who
he
does
looks like Santa Claus?
The origin and
Yeah,
the origin products?
Yes. So he definitely, he says you do it twice a day, but if you do it any more than that, you'll be it really changes your state of mind. So the soldiers use that, special ops use that, and it helps control their level of stress. You can imagine what kind of stress they live in. So if it works for them, it should definitely work for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the mechanics behind it is, well, one, hormones.
Okay.
So when you start to exhale, you're actually releasing serotonin.
You're right.
And that's what happens. And you're actually going from sympathetic to parasympathetic system.
Okay.
Your sympathetic system is your flight. You go. And parasympathetic is you relax.
Okay.
So when you exhale, you're actually going to the parasympathetic system.
Oh.
And that's what's starting you to calm down. So that means it's going to calm down your heart rate and all of those things that get really excitable.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And so that's practiced in yoga, obviously,
Well, yeah.
right?
But I mean,
don't you have to breathe a special way to?
It is. But it's practice in all. I mean,
Just
Buddhism
mindfulness,
practice.
right.
It's more mindfulness, like
Okay.
you said, even in Christianity, from yoga. So it's just a way to calm the mind and allow yourself to be in the present moment and let go of all the anxiety.
Absolutely.
Because if you're focusing on the breath, you can't focus on all the craziness that's going
true.
around you.
That's true. Somebody told me recently that once they fall asleep, and if you have to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, it's almost impossible to get back to sleep. So what I recommended, what works for me if I have to get up in the middle of the night, is I count 20 deep breaths. Before I get to the 20th, I'm asleep again because I'm focusing on putting all this extra oxygen into my brain. And it just seems to work for some reason when I remember to do it. I don't always remember.
And also with physical, people can practice in yoga, we call it the yoga nidra.
Oh, okay.
And so yoga nidra, you're laying in the bed, but then you focus on different body parts.
Okay.
So you might say, I'm focusing on relaxing my big toe.
Yes.
I'm focused on relaxing. So you go through all the different body parts. And before you even get probably to the top, you're already asleep. But you're focusing on yoga nidra.
Okay, so that really does work.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of what they use for hypnosis as well.
Yeah.
It's a form of self-hypnosis.
Exactly.
That's really smart. Another one, of course, that everybody knows this, is regular exercise like cardio, yoga, and strength training. So those things they will, again, it excretes what, serotonin or oxy?
Well, I mean, to me, I think it's just a way to release a lot of the toxins in your body through sweat.
I always feel better after I work out.
Exactly.
So that's one. Now, this isn't for everyone, but cold showers and cold space. If just going out, for some reason, being subjecting yourself to the cold is, it reduces inflammation and it helps to improve your mood. Now, I never knew that.
Oh, yeah, that's why the perfect temperature to sleep is 68, 69 degrees.
No, that's the only way I could sleep is
because
if
of
I'm cold.
inflammation.
Oh.
So it's helping with inflammation. So a lot of people, especially with diabetes and that's the perfect temperature to sleep for inflammation.
Good to know. Thank you. Okay, and then the sleep stress connection, which is just having a really good night's sleep. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. But if you can, 6 is my minimum. My goal is 7 hours, a night. But if I do 6, I'm happy. I feel pretty good. Anything less than that, it affects me through the whole day. Now, mental techniques.
But even with sleep, if you don't get enough sleep, then the next day you're going to crave junk food and carbs.
Okay. Is that where the cortisol comes in?
Well, no. You crave it more because of lack of sleep, and you're looking for something to wake you up.
Oh,
and so you crave more sugar.
Okay.
That's when you might be like, oh, this donut, oh, this muffin. Just because you didn't get enough sleep, now your body's trying to say, let me get energy. How is it going to get energy? It gets it from the food, and then it gets it from the sugar.
Okay.
And that's when you tend to go down that spiral of inflaming your body because of the sugar, because you're not sleeping, and it becomes just this cycle.
So sleep has so many good
Yeah, your
So
body
many-
only
your
heals
body-
when you're
yeah,
asleep.
That's true.
Your brain
And-
heals and everything else.
Yeah, your body's regenerating during sleep.
During sleep.
And that's why I know there are also certain supplements they tell you to take at night as well. That helps you. That's when your liver's going to work.
Yeah, and like you said, like melatonin is supposed to be good for sleep, and valerian, you can take valerian. And the thing with valerian,
We're
along
getting it.
with sleep, it also helps with inflammation.
Absolutely. Look, you know what? That's on my list. So go on now, Dr. Robin. That's pretty good. So mental techniques, excuse me, it's mindfulness and being present, of course.
Right.
And to me that really helps a lot. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just be present with today. And it really does help. It helps you find gratitude. And how are you feeling today? You're not in any pain. You're not dealing with any major tragedies. So appreciate today. And there's a saying, and you know it, yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery, and today is a present.
Exactly.
So that's something to remember.
And I think that, too, having some type of spiritual practice, whether it be Christianity, Buddhism, or what have you, because especially in Christianity, it says, be anxious for nothing.
Absolutely.
And so I think that if you have some kind of spiritual practice, whenever you get to that point of feeling anxious, you can fall back on what you've been studying
know that
and
it's bigger than
practicing,
you
and just know that this too shall pass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Because
And,
you only have this moment.
That's and experiencing gratitude, literally. No matter what you're going through, there is something you could feel good about. There's
Exactly.
always someone who's worse off.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we get anxiety. It was one book I read, I can't think of the author, but he was saying, like the past, if you're worried about the past, there's nothing you could do with it because it's in the past. And then we get so caught up with worrying about what's to come in the future, but we can only live in the present moment.
That's
and
right.
if you just allow yourself to say, okay, I know this is going on.
Right.
Because
Was it Simon Sinek? Does that sound familiar?
No, it was D. Martinez or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
But it's like we have to allow ourselves to, because you can't do nothing with the past, and you
Right.
don't know what the
Right.
future's going to bring.
Regret is bad energy.
Exactly.
Regret is just wasted energy. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So that's a good one. Another, of course, is journaling to release your inner thoughts. If you write down what's going on in your mind, you can get it, especially before you go to bed. That's one that's always recommended. Whatever is wearing on your mind, write it down, get it out of your system, or things you think you need to do instead of trying to ruminate while you sleep. Write it all down. Journaling also helps you express yourself in different ways. So that's a process that I like. And it says you can either just make a list, a gratitude list, write down all the things and that will somehow that's always going to make you feel better as well. You make a list, you're literally manifesting of the things that are going on in your life that are positive, and that energy finds you.
I think too, when I've noticed, like if I can't sleep and I know I have to do something the next day, at least write down, like tomorrow I need to do this, and put it in the order of importance, and then that helps because at least you release that.
100%.
Yeah.
There are two things I do. If I don't write it down, I'll grab my phone and put it on my calendar for tomorrow.
So your phone is
pop
that
up.
close to you?
I'm sorry. But you know what I do? It's in my drawer. I put it in my nightstand in the drawer. So those EMF, I'm hoping my nightstand protects me from the EMFs.
It's going to be interesting to see if, with all this technology that we have, what that's going to look like as far as stress, and maybe we just don't feel the magnetic field that's really
be the
pulling
EMFs.
us. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. My mom sleeps on a grounding mat. They have grounding mats that you can put in your bed.
Okay.
So supposedly works to protect you from EMFs.
Oh,
so
where does she get that from? You can get that anywhere?
Oh my! She gets 1,000 catalogs a week.
Oh,
so and they seen her coming. So she buys
like,
anything. But she claims it helps her with sleep. So
well, maybe we all need to get one.
I'm telling you, we can't sleep out in the backyard. So get a grounding mat. But grounding is another good way. I didn't talk about that. But that definitely reduces your stress. If you could go outside and just take your shoes off and just enjoy the grass, enjoy the
dirt.
Enjoy the dirt. If you're at a beach, that's really healing. It's very healing.
And if you do grounding with rebounding,
so
rebounding is when you just do some light little jumps, and that helps the lymphatic system.
Yes, it does.
But I would, think that because it's helping the lymphatic system, it's probably helping a lot of different
You're right.
pathologies in the body.
And rebounding is just a little tiny trampoline, basically.
And you don't even have to use that. You could just
you
normally
can do it on yourself.
Just do it
Not
yourself.
me,
Just
my
bounce
flat
really.
I need a little bounce. So that's one of them. And then for another mental technique is creating boundaries for your mental space. So if you're around negativity, remove yourself from that space. If you got a lot of negative Nellies around you, shut it down. And get away from internet. If you're dealing with the internet and social media and all you're reading is all this negative stuff, that you're not creating boundaries to protect yourself. And so that's really important to, find out what is affecting you. Make a point of shutting it out of your life. And people, it could be, it could be your friends, your neighbors. Make that space.
But just make sure it's not you.
Right. Oh, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you work on yourself and you know the boundaries. So you
gotta make boundaries for yourself.
Or even more so, know your foundation.
Right,
so work on a strong foundation. So when you have people who you're like, oh no,
that's true.
I'm not letting you mess with my peace.
Right.
I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. And that's kind of what I've been dealing with. I'm like, I don't want to see any news right now. I don't want to even deal with the internet because it's that algorithm will mess you up. It really will. You got to take a break. So now I've changed my algorithm to a lot of positive stuff. I've been watching that, and then that's what's finding me.
Okay, question. So with all the social media, when you see something that you're just like, okay, that's not true, I don't believe it, do you make a comment or you just walk right by it and don't make a comment?
I often make a comment and then I back it up. My first instinct is to comment and I say, that's not your business. That's not your business. And then I move on.
I do that too.
I think twice. And that's kind of like what you said. Think before you speak. So the pause. So I'll get it out my system by typing it up. But then I always erase it and move on.
You know what I found
funny.
myself doing?
I was the only one who did that.
I'll type something and go, no, that's going to...
Oh, my God.
And then what I'll do, I'll put a Bible verse in it.
Oh.
So then I'll put this says this in the Bible because during our last election, there was a lot of going back and forth.
Yeah.
So I just put a bunch of Bible verses, and they never would. They never comment back on that one.
Well, yeah, because they're Christians.
And they're
but
just
I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
I know. I have fun with that one. Like,
that's good.
Here are the Bible verses.
That's a very positive way of dealing with negativity.
Yeah.
I love it. And you don't know. It might hit somebody's heart.
Exactly.
It might actually affect somebody.
Yeah, because I'd rather for them to think than to just be high.
And that's how God works.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're the vessel He's using. So that's great. I like that idea. Now we're going to skip down a little bit to herbal remedies and dietary remedies.
Yes.
And you already mentioned one, which is valerian root.
Valerian,
That's definitely on my list. And valerian root is a very powerful sedative. And you probably know that already. I've just lost my way. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's known for helping you deal with insomnia, tension, and it also works by increasing the levels of GABA. Now, if I'm highly stressed, I actually will take GABA in, supplements. If that's something that I really feel like I need, GABA also helps you with sleep.
Yeah, I'm one of those St. John wort people.
Really?
If I'm stressed, I'll do St. John's.
So it does work for you.
Oh, yeah. It makes me extra chill.
A concoction lately of lemon balm and passion flower. And I think both of those are on here. Passion flower, it's also a tranquilizer. So it's really great if you're dealing with stress and anxiety. And like you said, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on in the world. So I've been making myself a nice little concoction. Instead of taking a tranquilizer, I'll take a flower.
Right.
So, so chamomile, of course, is a good one that helps with calming your senses. And one special thing about chamomile is if you just sniff it, if you just smell it, put some in a cup and smell the dry flower, that calms you down as well. You don't have to drink it. And that really is.
Well, that's because of the nerves in your nose.
Hello.
You know, the
Right.
olfactory
Those
nerve.
senses, right.
Because the olfactory nerve is right in your nose, so
Yeah.
that's why aromatherapy
And that's
works,
why we
because
love
it's connected to your
aromatherapy.
brain.
And how many times have you smelled something like Gina Tay, or and something that brings you back to your childhood?
I don't know
Those
about
olfa-
Gina Tay.
Well, I think when I was a little girl, all the aunties wore Gina Tay. So if I smell it, which I don't know if they make it anymore, but Old Spice is another one.
Or
It would make me
rose
think of
rose
my
oil
dad.
for some reason, like rose lotion when I was little.
Rose. I still love rose, but it's very calming. So the olfactory senses can really do you good. And I used to have, and you know this as a chiropractor, there was a chiropractor I used to go to. He would always have sweet orange oil. He always had sweet orange oil going in his aromatherapy. And I asked him why, and he said because it kind of gives you a cheery, it helps with,
Right.
So you already get it. Social techniques, we're going to jump over
Well,
there.
before we do that,
Uh-huh.
and so if you have anxiety, and say you have a lot of inflammation in your body,
yes.
one thing that you can really look at is magnesium. So magnesium helps with relaxation of inflammation. And then you can look at baswala. Baswala also helps with inflammation.
I love it.
And I would definitely look at
actually
omega-3.
Yes.
You take some omega-3s,
Oh my God.
and that's going to help
See,
also with inflammation.
That was next on my list. I love this woman. Omega-3 fatty acids, which and magnesium-rich foods like leafy green salads,
But
and
definitely
vitamin D.
coniferous stuff for sure.
And lots of cruciferous vegetables are great for you. They help with increasing the serotonin in your brain. So she nailed it. And they also helps reduce cortisol, which is your stress hormone.
Yes.
So you could take omega-3, or you can get it from foods, from fish and avocados and nuts and that sort of thing. So she nailed it.
Yeah, and I would definitely still look at the turmeric for sure.
Oh, turmeric, absolutely.
Turmeric's going to help with your inflammation because a lot of
And
times
ashwagandha.
it's not
I don't
it's
think I
a
even
it's a
mentioned that.
physical body thing that's going on with you that can also cause stress and anxiety. So if your body is feeling a certain type of way, or if you're going through certain ailments in your body, you're going to have anxiety. And so those things that you can kind of take, and and the other flip side is people don't know their deficiencies.
Right.
So if you have an opportunity to try to figure out what you're deficient in, you can do, because recently I'm doing checkmybody.com.
Okay.
And you send hair samples and they tell you all the deficiencies you might have in your body. So that might be something that you
I
can
would
look
love
into.
to do that.
Yeah.
I love, because my tests keep coming back normal, but I don't believe them. So, so real quick, the herbal remedies: ashwagandha, astragalus, rhodiola, holy basil. Those are adaptogens that will help your body deal with stress and help balance your stress hormones. So, and you can pretty much get those anywhere. Just make sure you get a trusted source. Don't just buy any of them.
Well, luckily, if you go to my website,
hello, that's right. If you come to me, which is my youndure.com, all of those are available in the herbal tea form.
and if you come to me,
Okay.
to drkiva.com, the nutraceuticals that I use are on the website that you
Good
can
to
order
know.
any magnesium. You can order those nutraceuticals with a brand that I trust.
So you have trusted supplements and trusted herbal teas.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's a marriage made in heaven. And then one last one, because I know we're running out of time, is the importance of social support. Like if you have a friend or family where you can share your feelings with, that's definitely help. Don't hold it in. If you've got someone you can rely on that you could share how you're feeling, that's helpful. But also volunteerism. Because when you're volunteering, especially with a vulnerable group, like the elderly or children,
Homeless.
at-risk children, that's going to give you a feeling of purpose. And it's going to take your mind off your own problems because you're really helping society.
Yeah, the Bible says man's not meant to be alone.
Oh, man. And we
so
are
you
here
need
to serve.
you need to be around other people because you'll really go into your mind when you're by yourself.
You sure will. You will. So hopefully these are giving you guys some hacks that you could do naturally to find your inner peace. And in the meantime,